But let's move on to the NFC North, your division with your team. You want to start with your Vikings?
Go ahead.
Let's do it. Let's start with the Vikings here. Then we got the additions. Put up the screen now. What do you think? I'm going to let you take it and run with it.
Yeah, I'm happy, actually. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. So one of the biggest things that we struggled with last year was our defense. Our defense was absolute garbage. And, I'm a huge critic of Kirk Cousins. I think that he is a good quarterback, just getting great elite quarterback money, and that's where the discrepancy comes in for me. Kirk Cousins is a more than formidable starter, though, in this league, and he is capable of taking the Vikings as far as they're able to go. Last year, it was Mike Zimmer and the defense that let us down. We picked up Dalvin Tomlinson. Yeah. He is an incredible defensive force up front. Danielle Hunter, I'm hoping that we're able to renegotiate with him and get him back on the team. Michael Pierce, all-pro defensive lineman, opted out because of the COVID issues. He's coming back. Yeah. So hopefully that's able to free up some of those gaps and let Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks run free. We're able to pick up a Patrick Peterson for $10 million. Yes, I know some people are already done with Patrick Peterson, but we need it. So for me, having Pat P as the 1, Jeff Gladney at the 2, and then a Mike Hughes at the 3 or a Cam Dantzler at the 3.
And whoever you draft in the first round.
Because we always draft that cornerback in the first round. It doesn't sound that bad to me. Looking at the offensive side, the one that surprised me the most was losing Riley Reif at tackle. Yeah. It was a big payday for sure, but God dang, we know, everyone who knows a little bit about football knows the Vikings have always struggled at the offensive line. Why do that to ourselves? Why not just try to renegotiate with him? It's rough. I think that's where we're gonna go this year's tackle, honestly.
Yeah, I think you attack the trenches. I think at the end of the day, that's kind of you got to go O-line, D-line, and then cornerback is still crazy enough. Is still a need.
Is the window over though? Like it is, isn't it? Sadly,
as
much as I want to flex the Dalvin Tomlinson signing, the Michael Pierce acquisition again coming back.
There's nobody in that additions column that puts you into like the Super Bowl conversation for me. No,
and that's what sucks. But on paper, you have a Dalvin, you have a Kirk, you have a Justin Jefferson, and an Adam Thielen, and hopefully an emerging Irv Smith.
Yeah. I absolutely
agree. To see it.
Yeah, I do wonder. I'm getting to the point, and I don't want to do this to you, but I am getting to the point where I'm like, is the scheme just getting? Do they need to revamp? Like, do they need to move on from Zimmer?
Too much of an old head scheme?
Is the scheme just too old? Like, because they do have all the pieces. You're absolutely right. Like, I love all of those guys in a vacuum, and together they should be great, and they are good at times. But there's also weeks where it's like they are complete duds, and it seems like they can't get anything going.
Of course.
It's unfortunate, but it feels like their Vikings are good for that, like 3 or 4 games a year, and that always those 4 games that you lose just because you don't come out playing strong.
It's the difference in the
playoffs. It puts you down to like a 10-9 win team. Where on paper the roster itself probably should be better than that, and it's not. So I get what you're saying, but I'm getting to that point. I'm not saying hey fire Zimmer.
You don't have quarterback on draft needs, by the way.
Yeah, I know
There's a chance.
All right,
you don't think there's any way in hell we take a quarterback?
I want to give a little bit of behind the curtain a little bit for people listening. He sent me kind of all the information, and I put up the graphic for this, right? Yeah. So that was kind of how we worked together on this show, and he put in draft needs as everything you see there, plus the quarterback position, and I made an executive decision there. I figured
our general manager said that he has done heavy work on this quarterback class.
I get it, and I left it out. Maybe I can't put it back in now because we already talked about it. It's not in there.
No, you're good. It's fine. Keep it off.
I kept it. I kept it off because I just don't see you guys realistically targeting the quarterback position when you're paying $40 million for your starter. I don't. Are you thinking a quarterback of the future, or are you thinking a backup in the mid rounds?
No,
you're thinking quarterback of the future.
Yeah,
I just don't think that's happening this year.
I get that completely.
And you look, you might be right, but I get what you're saying.
Mac Jones in the second round.
I know Mac Jones not going. Mac Jones isn't falling out of the top 15. That's the thing.
You changed on that much now?
I'm not saying he should. I still think he's a bottom of the first, second round guy.
We pick at 14.
But if you might, I just can't imagine passing. If you grab Trey Lance at 14, that would be interesting because then you could set him for a year. But Trey Lance doesn't fit what Zimmer wants at all.
You're right.
I mean, you know what I mean?
You're right. He wants the single back under center.
Zimmer would like Mac Jones more.
Zimmer probably would.
Yeah. So maybe Mac Jones goes.
I'm just saying that our general manager has addressed the time of Kirk is you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
That contract will eventually be up.
Yeah, they're realizing that the financial strain of paying a guy in free agency who clearly is there for the money first and foremost is getting to its breaking point a little bit. So yeah, I get what it's saying, and it seems like every team that goes on a run that has the ability to create a really good roster has a young quarterback for 4 years. Yeah. Then they pay him, and then they reload, knowing where they're at.
They're able to work around that.
Exactly, and the Vikings have been kind of in a weird spot. All right, we spent enough time on the Vikings. Let's move on here.